Every night, Vivi, the eldest sister, would gently comb the tail of Celine's light and say, "Do not rush, Celine. Stars move like kings in a solemn procession." And Shiloh, serious and stern, would stop her from playing with passing comets, saying, "We are the guardians of the sky. We do not play like reckless planets." As for Sola, she would whisper to her every evening before sleep, "The most beautiful light is the one that knows when to shine and when to rest." But Celine was not entirely convinced. She listened, laughed, trained, and learned. Yet deep inside her, she dreamed of something no one could teach. She wanted to see what lay beyond the sky. She saw the heavens as a vast, incomplete map, and dreamed of drawing the missing part. She would sneak toward the edges of the galaxy, looking downward, toward that glittering row of planets. They appeared to her like astonishing jewels, shining in the darkness, as if they were calling to her. And she whispered to herself,
"What if I went down? Just to see? Just to know?"
She did not know that this tiny whisper would change the course of her life forever. One evening, in the Lyre Kingdom, on a gentle evening, Celine was sitting in her favorite corner inside the Great Hall of Light, decorating her silver notebook with shimmering colors and stickers shaped like tiny suns and spinning planets. Suddenly, she stopped and lifted her head as her siblings' whispers began to fill the space. They were talking about something that always stirred her heart: the planets, especially the planets of the solar system. She moved closer, the light in her eyes growing brighter. She heard her sister Ella say in a dreamy tone, "I've heard that Venus is the most beautiful of all planets. People on Earth call it Venus, after the ancient goddess of beauty, because it is white and radiant, and from afar it appears as the morning star." The wings of light behind Celine fluttered, as if eager to join the conversation. But Shiloh, who was arranging starry books on a floating shelf, turned toward them and said in his usual serious voice, slowly adjusting his golden glasses, "That's true, Ella. And the reason Venus shines so brightly is that its atmosphere is extremely dense, so it reflects a large amount of sunlight." He added, pointing with his finger to a celestial diagram slowly rotating in the air, "Venus does not shine by itself. It reflects light like a mirror, just as you do when you hold a silver sheet under moonlight." Ella laughed mischievously and said, "Maybe that's why girls love it." The other siblings laughed softly, but Celine, she did not laugh. Her eyes were fixed on the distant sky, as if she were hearing a call no one else could hear. She whispered quietly,
"Someday I'll shine as brightly as you do."
staring at a faraway point. "I want to see it, not from books or stories. I want to glimpse it up close. I want my feet to touch that enchanting planet." Zito replied as he jumped onto a small floating star near the ceiling. "Don't tell me you're thinking of traveling there, you little troublemaker." But Celine did not answer him. There was a new spark in her eyes, a spark of longing to discover something she had never touched before. Celine fell silent for a moment. But another voice leapt into the space between words. It was Rora, leaning against a transparent cloud, flipping a tiny galaxy trapped between her fingers like a glass marble. She winked at Celine and said, "If you're going to Venus, don't forget to ask her, why doesn't she have any moons? Isn't she big enough for one?" Sola raised an eyebrow in wonder. "That's true. Venus doesn't have a single moon, just like Mercury. How strange." Zito burst into laughter as he spun around himself. Two planets with no friends orbiting them? What loneliness! But Shiloh intervened, lifting his glasses slightly, as he always did when preparing to explain something important. "Actually, there's a curious theory about that." Celine rushed toward him, her eyes widening like two small spheres of light. Tell me, I want to know," Shiloh replied, pointing to a model of Venus orbiting the sun. "It is said that Mercury, in a very ancient time, may have been a moon of Venus. But it slipped out of her orbit and chose to become an independent planet." Celine froze in place. "It was a moon, and then it escaped?" Shiloh nodded slowly, gazing into the distance, then added, "Yes, as if it had a dream to see the sun on its own, not from behind anyone else." A soft silence fell among the stars. Then Dalla spoke, placing her hand over her glowing heart. Perhaps it wasn't an escape, but a search for identity. Celine looked upward then at her siblings, and inside her, a new voice was born. Could it be that she, too, was like Mercury? Alfie thought for a moment, then spoke in his deep voice. That's why it works so hard, racing around the sun faster than any other planet, as if it's telling everyone, I am here. I deserve my place. Celine fell silent for a moment, then whispered, I feel like I understand him. Shiloh smiled and continued, Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system. It's a rocky planet and doesn't have a dense atmosphere like Venus, but it's the fastest in orbiting the sun, as if it's in a race it never wants to end. Some scientists even say it resembles Earth's moon more than it resembles the other planets. Ella laughed and said, maybe because it once forgot it was a planet and still behaves like a naughty little moon. The siblings smiled, while Celine gazed into space, feeling that every planet held a secret and every star carried a story. On another evening, beneath the calm wings of the galaxy, the siblings gathered in the cloud garden inside the Lyre Kingdom. The garden floated peacefully between waterfalls of golden light, decorated with flowers that bloomed whenever a star passed nearby. Shiloh said excitedly, as he leapt from one cloud to another, Today, we have a surprise. Everyone looked at him in curiosity. Then he stepped into the center of the circle, dragging a circular box whose sides glowed with colorful pulses. He said proudly, My new telescope. I built it myself. It's not an ordinary telescope. It can let us see the planets as if we're flying above them. Everyone applauded, and Celine asked, her eyes sparkling, Which planet will we see first? Shiloh replied, as he adjusted the telescope's lenses with his magical hands. Today, we're flying to planet Mars.
In the next episode of the Lyre Kingdom, a red world awaits. A planet of storms, silence, and forgotten stories, and a girl whose dreams are about to touch its dust. Planet Mars, the planet of adventures.